DNA being proven that God exists. Unshakable faith is the only that which can face reason in all ages. We don't go for blind faith. Oh, I believe in God. Yeah, I believe in God. There is this tale that said that there was a church in a village, and the village was about to get flooded. So everybody comes to the priest and says, "Sir, we evacuating the city." "No, I'm going to stay here. God's going to save the church." Okay, water come in, first floor all flooded. They come with big cars. "Sir, please come with us." "No, God's going to save the church." Water comes to the second floor. Then comes everybody in boats and says, "Please, please, Father, come. Leave the church." "No, God's going to save the church." So the water got to the bell of the church. Helicopters, same speech. God's going to save the church. You know what happened? The priests go talk to God. "Why didn't you save the church?" "I tried many times. He didn't want it." So the problem is, for blind faith, is that there is no reason on that. And there's no reason on that. You want the things to happen the way you want them to happen. And you don't understand, if something is different, something different happens, it's because it would be better for you, even though it doesn't seem like. How many times you heard about people that lost their plane, that lost their $1 million deal, and the plane fell down? The plane crashed. So you prefer to lose your life or $1 million in that sense? There is no... You cannot... It's just like your father, it's just like your mother when you ask for something when you are a kid and you don't get that. "I want a tennis racket, but I want it now." 6 months, your father get the money and you deserve it because you did something good. So he give you the tennis racket. You don't want that anymore. You want something else. Tennis was just the thing from 6 months ago. That's us. That's human nature. We are not, fulfilled with something material. We have to be fulfilled with something that is greater than that. So, a language of God, that's the name of the book. DNA, the language of God, that unites creation. Faith is the assurance of what we hope for. And this is Hebrews 11:1. And in this book, he cited this Hebrew 11. Say, okay, so what is faith? And they said, well, this is great. This is the way that we're talking. It's the assurance of what we hope for. So faith, in that sense, is to have hope for something greater. Is to give love, unconditional love for something to happen. Because if we just want something for us, it's not great. It's not what we hope for. It's so little. When you think about when God said everything that you want, you can have it if you are in me. He's saying, if you are in me, you don't need anything because you have it all. So he knew what he was talking about. If you believe in me, if you understand what I do, if you understand love, the way I understand love, you probably don't have any requirements. You probably don't have any other thing to ask for. You have me. You have the love. The rest is just, go ahead and share the love. So it's just like the butterfly, right? Unfortunately, we need to feel some pain in order to evolve. Because without pain, we stay on our comfort zone. If it doesn't hurt, we stay there. Everything's cool. especially men, we have this area in our brain that is not, physiologically proven, but it's a nowhere zone. So we did so much during the day that at this time I want to be in my nowhere zone. Doing what? Nothing. So if you don't take me out of there with pain, I will still be there. I have the capability to look at the TV, look at my phone, and don't look at anything at the same time. I'm not seeing anything. It's just like I'm diverging my brain for thinking about something because I don't want it. At least I assume that. That's my fault, but at least I assume that. So you have to understand that a caterpillar, in order to be a butterfly, it needs to evolve. And evolution is not something that you go that easy. It takes a toll on us. What is the role of reincarnation in spiritual evolution? Oh, and Richard, you cannot answer this. Neither you, Valdo. Neither you, Tim. Princess? That's your cue. What is the role of reincarnation in spiritual evolution?
Well, to help us to learn to become better spirits.
There you go. Evolution. Thank you. With each existence, man takes another step on the path of progress. How many existences do we need to evolve? God only knows. The good thing about God, He's not in a hurry to see us progress. We need to be in a hurry to progress as much as we can. But He will give you an eternity to evolve. It's your thing. If you want to evolve little by little, if you want to evolve a little faster, if you go a little longer. One thing that we know is that most of the planets, all the planets and all the universe made out of energy. We are made out of energy. So when you think about something that is good, what kind of energy we attract to our side? Good. Spirits are made of energy. So we attract good spirits. If we're made of energy and the planet's made of energy, if your energy is good, what kind of planet do you have the choice to incarnate? With the same kind of energy that you vibrate. So if you are going in the opposite way and put your energy down, what kind of planet do you think you're going to reincarnate? And newsflash, this planet is evolving to another step of energy. So if you want to reincarnate in planet Earth, you better do something good to your energy, to what you can do. Otherwise, you're probably not going to be able to reincarnate in planet Earth. Oh, there's more planets incarnated? Whoa, you bet there are. You bet there are. We cannot be so naive to think that we are the only planet in the whole galaxy, in the whole myriad of galaxies that is habited. It's ridiculous to think about this. If we don't see, we don't believe, so we are all St. Thomas right here. There are a lot of other planets that has life, even if we cannot see it. And think about that they come here to steal our planet. Why? We're probably the less evolved planets. If they can build a spacecraft and go miles and light speed and we don't have this, why do they want to get what we have here? We probably want to get what they have there. But we are still looking at our belly button at this point. We don't understand too much the love that is attached to the universe. The law of progress teaches us that material and spiritual evolution go hand in hand. Intelligence drives advancements, but it's love that gives meaning to progress, uplifting humanity. Only balancing knowledge and fraternity can we build a truly just and harmonious future. Dividing the atom can save lives, but also can create an atomic bomb. Two sides of the same thing. And we choose to have both. Until we give up one side and stay with the good side, we're not ready for agape love. We're not ready to love everyone the way we can love. But we don't know how, because we still pay attention to things that are not very helpful. To be born, to die, to be reborn, and to progress always. This is written on Allan Kardec's mortuary. Is mortuary camp? Headstone. Okay. Yeah, tombstone. Yeah. So if you go with friends, you can go to Paris and see his camp over there, and his tombstone is going to be written that in French. I can give a translator, a Google, and you can know that that's what's written there. So, what is agape love has to do with evolution? Pretty much everything. Love starts with the survival instinct. It's love for ourselves, right? To more altruist feeling for the others. Our brain was evolved to keep ourselves alive. But all of a sudden, when you understand that you control your brain and not vice versa, you can use that for something greater than just surviving. How does love evolve from instinct to consciousness? Love is a divine essence, and you all have, deep within your hearts, the spark of its sacred fire. If the divine essence, that's something that is within us, why don't we search for that inside of us to bring it out? Because we're shy, because this world doesn't worth it, because my family doesn't worth it, because my boss doesn't worth it, because you're worth it. It's not about the others, it's about you. What are you doing without love in your life? What are you doing not loving yourself and loving the others? What kind of life is that? You are creating a lot of problems to yourself. And remember, because we think about, loving the others is the first thing. No, the first thing is loving yourself. Because if you don't have love to give, how can you give love to somebody if you don't have love for yourself? You have to love yourself first and then love the others. But to reach this divine essence, you have to jump in. And our Occidental culture tells us to see outside. The Hubble, you can see thousands of galaxies and stuff outside. But we don't look inside to see the galaxy, the wonder galaxy that we have inside of us. So we don't put too much effort and we don't give too much credit to ourselves. And then it's hard. It's hard to love others because we don't know how to love ourselves. So we need to move from eros love to agape love. We need to move from material love to a broader way of love. Love covers a multitude of sins. Why do you think that my brother from another mother, Peter, was saying here? How come love covers a multitude of sins? Yeah. But who you forgive first? Yeah. So, if you think about the word forgive, just separate it. Forgive. What do you have? Forgive. It's the ultimate thing, giving love. But you have to understand love. You have to have love to give. Otherwise, it's a blank check. It's a check that will bounce back. And unfortunately, the interest on the bank of emotions are harder than the bank of money. You pay more interest. So what is the connection between science and spirituality? Why are science and spirituality complementary? Well, science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. It's simple as that. And this is not a spiritist person. This is just Albert Einstein. That also told us that we are here for a trip. He relates our lifetime as a trip. We came here as foreigners to a country to learn something. The guy that is so much so intellect, reasoning, and he saw something outside. Do you know that for the whole time that science has been studying the brain, it could not realize one area of our brain that is responsible for our thoughts? And we have in between 50 to 80,000 thoughts. Just men, okay? Women has a lot more. Don't kill me now. If we have 50 to 80,000 and we have thoughts and they don't come from our brain, where do they come from? Our soul, ourselves, our spiritual being. And the thoughts are the fuel for the brain. Because without the thoughts, the brain doesn't work. The brain is a machine. You give an order, it will respond to this order. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, if it's real or not, it will respond. So think about the quality of your thoughts. Agape love is a quantum element of conscious. It's more than a feeling, it's a frequency that connects consciousness. Just like a quantum physics, where everything is interconnected, unconditional love elevates and transforms us. The kingdom of God is within you. Again, the love is within us. See, we have audio there.
Sometimes people have a hard time understanding how someone can be a serious scientist and also deeply religious.
I was not always that way. I was
A hard time understanding how someone can be.
Can we give more audio on that? Is he there? No? He stepped out? Okay. So this is an interview with the guy that wrote the book, okay?
Sometimes people have a hard time understanding how someone can be a serious scientist and also deeply religious.
I was not always that way. I was an atheist until I was my mid-20s. Medical school and confronting life and death forced me to recognize that I hadn't really thought these issues through. And questions about, is there a God? And what happens after you die? Science couldn't help me with those. I had to go to other sources. And ultimately, to my surprise, with some reluctance, I became a believer. But I don't see a conflict there. And 40% of working scientists agree with me, even though they don't talk about it very much. It's a different kind of question. Science is really good at answering questions that start with how. How does that work? But faith is better sometimes at answering questions like why? Why am I here? Why do we have this thing called morality and we feel drawn to it? Why am I touched by an experience of beauty, of music, or a beautiful sunset? I need faith for those. And I want to be able to ask those questions too. And the mistake happens, I think, though, when you get muddled up about which kind of question is being posed and how you should approach it. But for me, when I see God as the author of everything, both nature and of our spiritual leanings, it seems to me there shouldn't be a conflict in the answers that I come up with because it's all part of God's giving to us the chance to learn about creation and all aspects of that, including about God himself.
This is the scientist that was up in front, that was the face of the Genoma Project. This is the scientist that lead the team that decode the DNA chain. Everything that I told you right now, it's in his speech. A scientist Okay, a scientist. And he also said 40% of the scientists believe in that, but they don't talk too much. Why? They're going to be execrated. They're going to be degraded because they are talking about something that science still don't allow them to talk. And one thing that just caught my attention. You guys heard about Simon Sinek? Do you know who this guy is? What is the book that makes him famous? Start with the why. He's bigger in terms of as a speaker than Tony Robbins nowadays. Start with the why. Science explains how. Religion explains why from the mouth of a scientist. That's simple. That easy to understand.
Sometimes people.
So, how can unconditional love transform relationships? The true spirit recognized by their moral transformation. Love heals a multitude of sins. Do you think that the family that you are in was always in other incarnations that loving or that easy or even get together as a family? Probably not. And sometimes if you have a lot of problems to love your mom, to love your dad, to love your brother, or whoever it is, it's probably the one that you need to love. And you incarnate in this family because it's easier for you to love him or her than for her to be outside and you never face, or if you face, I didn't like it, I'm not going to try. But if it's your mom, if it's your dad, if it's your sibling, you probably feel the need of loving, or guilty if you don't love. So when Jesus came and said that love, it's all you need. Love, it's the key. That's what he was talking about. Is also, yeah, I did a lecture on it. All you need is love. Yeah. Charity is love in action. Period. Have you guys heard about Nick Vujicic? That's this guy.
I wasn't ready.
He doesn't have arms. He doesn't have legs.
I have no arms and no legs, but I'm very thankful that I have my little chicken drumstick here. People freak. There were times where I sort of looked at my life and thinking, well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And you keep on concentrating on the things that you wish you had or the things that you wish you didn't have. And you sort of forget what you do have. And there's no point, I believe, in my life where I wish I had arms and legs, I wish I had arms and legs, I wish I had arms and legs, because wishing won't help. But what I've seen in life are just a couple key principles, and the first thing that I've seen is to be thankful. It's hard to be thankful, man. I tell you, when I was 8 years old, I sort of summed up my life and thought, I'm never going to get married, I'm not going to have a job, I'm not going to have a life of purpose. What kind of a husband am I going to be if I can't even hold my wife's hand? It's a lie to think that you're not good enough. It's a lie to think that you're not worth anything. You see, it's very hard to smile sometimes in life. There are things that happen that you don't know and you don't understand, and you don't know if you're going to get through it. You know, you go through your storms in life and you don't know how long this storm's going to be. And today I want to share with you some principles that I've learned in my life that you can use in yours. But I realized I may not have hands to hold my wife's hand, but when the time comes, I'll be able to hold her heart. I don't need hands to hold her heart. You know, it is scary to know how many girls have eating disorders. It is scary to know how many people are just angry at life because of their situation at home and angry at others. It's scary to know how many people actually feel like they're worth nothing. Every single girl right here, right now, I want you to know that you are beautiful. You are gorgeous just the way you are. And you boys, you're the man.
So Nick Vujicic speak for more than 300 people so far. Touch those lives. And when he was 8, he thought about killing himself. He asked his parents to leave him in a bathtub. He said he will just chill out. And he turned around 3 times trying to kill himself. And the love that he had for his parents prevent him to do that. What a waste it would be, right? How many lives he touched. How many people he touched. With one thing that could be seen as a problem. And for him was his purpose. This is agape love, in a sense. This is a way to understand that we are here a little bit more than just to look at our belly buttons. A little bit more to just look at what can we do tomorrow? What I'm going to eat when I'm leaving here? You know? Yes, we need to live the moment, but in which capability? Love your neighbor as yourself. Hard, right? Especially if the neighbor is a grumpy man or is the Grinch. But he's not saying that you need to go to your neighbor and say, I love you. Treat him right. This is a form of love. You don't need to kiss anybody to tell that you love them. You need to treat them right. If they don't treat you right back, that's their problem, not yours. You're doing your part, not because you say, I'm doing my part, that way I go to heaven. No, you're doing your part because you know that that's what you need to do. What is the final destination of a spiritual progress? Valdo? Perfection. When it's going to be? God only knows. Without charity, there is no salvation. So, and we saw that charity is based on love. What is in between the lines? Without love, there is no salvation. Without understanding love in a broader way, there is no salvation. How can you manifest love? Love your neighbors as yourself. And again, how can I love somebody that give me so much trouble or damage me? Not wishing him bad. That's the greatest way of loving. Because if you have all the reasons to wish somebody bad because they did bad to you, wishing them well is the only thing that you can do as a love. You're not going to hug them. You're not going to invite them to your home. You're not going to do anything of that. This is too much. But not wishing him bad, that's something that you can do. You know what else can you do? Be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see in the world.
Listen up, babies. Life's not fair. You get no say in the world you're born into. You don't decide your name. You don't decide where you come from. You don't decide if you have a place to call home or if your whole family has to leave the country. Yeah, it's messed up. You don't decide how the world judges a person like you. You don't decide how your story begins, but you do get to decide how it ends. Yes!
You don't decide how your story begins, Maybe you do. If you read a little bit of the literature on Spiritist doctrine, if you do have some good points to speak for you, you can decide. You can decide what's the family that you're gonna be born in. You can decide the problems that you're gonna face. But the problem is, when we are up there, we have all the courage. And we incarnate and we become chickens. It's hard. Up there we feel nothing. We feel powerful. Yeah, I can take it. I find funny, my wife say, hey, next time if you see me getting into all the lines to every single disease or problem that can happen, you prevent me to go there, okay? You just push me, say, hey, no, we're not going there. You're not going to do this. But there are some books that tells that the engineers that help you for your incarnation sometimes say, hey, I know you're the man, but dude, sometimes less is more. Don't go all the lines all together. It's going to be hard for you to deal with that. Get this, this, and this. What about that? And that's all you can get for one incarnation. Save the rest for other incarnations. So, yeah, sometimes we decide where or how, why we were born, but we can change the progression of our life dependent of our good doings or wrongdoings. What legacy we will leave through the agape love? The good that is done in a day is the seed of happiness for eternity. Well-known guy called Dr. Deepak Chopra used to say, if you want to know why you are the way you are right now, look to what you did. If you want to know what's going to be tomorrow, look what you are doing right now. And he completes, open your heart, or a heart surgeon will do that for you. Because if you put too much toxins by thinking wrong thoughts, you will poison your body. And all of a sudden, you will need the medicine from planet Earth to help you on your spiritual side. And probably will not going to happen. We're not going to give you too much. Because they are not changing the root. They're not attacking the root. They're attacking the effect, not the cause. We need to deal with the cause, not with the effect. And that's it, my friends. All we need is love, but we need to understand love in a broader way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter. You didn't read that, so I'm going to read it for you, because that's what we're going to do here. There is no greater love than the one that we experience from Jesus. And as he said, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And if we know his story, he's done lots of miracles, lots of signs that he was the Son of God. But the biggest legacy, the biggest example was this agape love, this unconditional love that he was really putting his life, he cared more for the people who he was leaving this legacy, this example, than itself. He know that overcoming the world, it's going through everything we have to. So as a very superior, very pure spirit that came here, reincarnated to be our master, to teach us the path, this is how you're going to walk towards more perfection, We don't even need to focus in being a pure spirit like Jesus. Entertain that is going to happen very soon. It's going to happen naturally, but the focus is the tomorrow. Are we in the right path? I selected here to give an example. I think Peter mentioned here how, love, agape love being manifested, how we manifest that. And here, this is in John, in the Gospel of John, chapter 17:6. Jesus left a prayer for his disciples. So after those 3 years that he completed his mission, just a little before the crucifixion and then the resurrection and all of that good stuff that happened, he had prepared these 12 minus 1 that they were going to go through the world. And just like him, they were also going to die. They would need to lay their lives for a better cause, for him. But for him, it's not that the person Jesus. It's like for what he meant, for the love. It's if you are to simplify the gospel in 2 words, it's loving and forgiving, and loving and forgiving and moving forward. So I'm gonna read here what my friend over there, Vone, is gonna put some light background music. We can lower the lights a little bit, so we use this as our vibration. How about that? Do you guys remember the prayer that Jesus had for his disciples before he sent them to the world? Now it's on you. And the same we can apply to us. We are his disciples. So he's praying for those 12 minus 1. He's also praying for us that we, based on the example he gave us, the teaching he left us, that he's praying for his Father, which is also our Father, and how we should be blessed because he overcame the world. I have revealed you to those whom you gave me out of the world. They were yours. You gave them to me, and they have obeyed your word. Now they know that everything you have given me comes from you. This is Jesus talking to God, to his Father, to our Father. For I gave them the words you gave me, and they accepted them. They knew with certainty that I came from you, that I came from you, and they believed that you sent me. I pray for them. I am not praying for the world, but for those you have given me, for they are yours. All I have is yours, and now you have is mine. And glory has come to me through them. I will remain in the world no longer, but they are still in the world. And I am coming to you, Holy Father. Protect them. Protect them by the power of your name, the name you gave me, so that they may be one as we are one. While I was with them, I protected them, and I kept them safe by the name you gave me. None has been lost except the one doomed to destruction, so the scripture would be fulfilled. I am coming to you now, but I say these things while I'm still in the world, so that they may have the full measure of my joy within them. I have given them the word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me in the world, I have sent them into the world. For them, I sanctify myself, that they too may be truly sanctified. And God, we know you are a loving Father. We feel you giving us life, giving us hope, giving us everything. We're so imperfect, and we have so much to still walk through your path and your light in your life. But we have come so far, and we appreciate you. We are grateful. We love you. We worship you in the most sanctified manner. I know that your Son, Jesus, came to not only be our master, but also be our model, our guide. And through him, I know that I am safe. I'm so thankful for the people that you have blessed me with to surround my life and to give, and for me to be a provider and help and be together. There are so many problems in this world, but I want to be the change in this world. Thank you so much. Please bless each one of us here. Bless our families, bless our friends. But we at this moment, we want you to bless those who are lonely and lost hope, lost heart, lost faith. Those who are in a vacuum of lack of love. Self-love is so important. And thank you for giving that to me so I can give that forward. Please be with this nation. Be with all the nations of this world, with those who are in the decision making, the powers of man. May their minds and their hearts and their spirits be wise for the common good. May this unbalanced, very egotistic and materialistic system in which we still live, and hard to find agape love, unconditional love, may each one of us make a difference as being a good example of your words, of your love. Thank you so much, Jesus, for sanctifying your disciples and making us your disciples as well, and protecting and being with us. For everything we have received, we are grateful. Please bless this Spiritist Center. Bless all of those who are discarnated, those brothers and sisters in spirit who come here to find help and a refuge. May they find their peace, may they find their way. And all of those who follow us trying to get some good vibration energy, may our vibration help them and free free ourselves from any connections with any negativity. May we be protected. May we be sanctified. May we also overcome this world. It is in your powerful name, Jesus, that we ask for all these things. And we say thank you for all of the blessings. And so be it. So be it. Our brother Tim is going to invite us for the passage.